Hey!
This is JJ and Alex.
I made a name for myself, I told you I won't be denied.
As you wrap up your day, it's time to get your fix of the teams you live for and the sports you love. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday to you. Thanks for being with us on the program. It is JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We hope that your sports world is revolving around all the things that you want it to revolve around. It's a Thursday night, which means, of course, we've got some Thursday night football. The NFL brings us...
That put a smile on my face.
I know. I'm telling you. There's something about being able to...
I don't care who it is. I'll watch it.
I know. It's something about coming home at night, listening to the dulcet tones of Al Michaels. Even when he passes, by the way, I hope his estate gets paid for the AI version of Al Michaels that we'll get. I pray that we can have an AI Al Michaels. AI Michaels. Don't shake your head at me. We need AI Michaels.
Somebody's already working on it.
I hope so. We have enough, my heavens, we have enough voice samples over the years from the guy. It's the same way we do it. Look, whenever they make a new Toy Story, they don't need Tom Hanks to come in and voice a dang thing. So guess what I need AI Michaels the rest of my life, okay?
What major sporting event do you want AI Michaels calling?
Oh, I want him coming. I want AI Michaels. Refer to him as his real name, please. It's AI Michaels. All right? AI Michaels will be doing most of the Thursday night football games, which, by the way, Prime will save a lot of money. Okay? Those games, by the way, only deserve an AI commentator. Don't worry, because Kirk Herbstreit, the real Kirk Herbstreit, will still be there interacting with AI Michaels.
As long as he gets to bring his dog.
As long as he gets to bring the hologram dog. Okay? That's all I'm saying. So I think that we should have those things going forward.
He needs to adopt Lane Kiffin's dog.
The fake dog. He should. Yeah. Somebody should reach out and be like, is Sparky okay? Did they have to put him down?
Hope somebody's feeding
they didn't put
Lane Kiffin's dog.
They didn't have to put him down, did they?
He doesn't actually take care of.
Sorry, Lane Kiffin's dog wasn't real. Lane is not coming to pick you up.
You're going to find out
Sorry.
that he's at the pound or something?
Of the angel.
Oh, no. No, we're not going to euthanize Lane Kiffin's dog, are we?
Save a fired Power 4 coach's dog. His name's Juice. You're right.
His name is Juice.
His name is Juice. Don't talk about him unless you're going to name him. All right? Is Juice okay? Listen, think about it. The fake dog that I'm sure Brian Kelly had, the fake dog that Lane Kiffin had, all these guys, all these fake dogs and their fake dog accounts. I mean, they're real dogs, but somebody's having to take care of them. And now they don't have homes. There's
a lot of people that are really worried about Juice.
I know. There's 6 SEC head coaching positions, which I assume all came with fake dogs. And those dogs could presumably not have a home to go to. So this holiday season.
He abandoned Juice when he went to Louisiana.
I know. The best part is the guy who's actually the handler was like, hey, by the way, he just blew it all up. He goes, by the way, Juice never lived with Lane. He'll be fine. He's never lived with him. He never interacted with him. He took him to the stadium, walked in with him, handed him to us, and then walked out of the stadium and handed him to us again. So that was how it worked. That's how it worked with Lane Kiffin's world.
Juice Kiffin has his own Twitter account.
Of course he does. Why wouldn't he?
Sorry, X account.
Why wouldn't he? In a day and age where animals, there are dozens of animals that make tons of money on social media accounts right now for their human handlers. They're fake account. I mean, they're real animals, and they've got accounts. So there you go. Hey, welcome to the show, JJ. How are you doing, man? You know what? We're not outside today.
It's nice and cozy.
I was actually talking to somebody yesterday. Yeah, it's 72 degrees in here. I was talking to somebody. Did you notice by the end of the show, it was actually warmer at the end of the broadcast? Not just because of the actual heaters, too. The heaters were...
Are you sure about that?
I had to turn it down. No, but you remember the wind that was whipping at the beginning of the broadcast?
First time I've ever done a radio show where I could see my breath.
Oh.
It was chilly.
I'm all James Franco over here. First time with the noose around my neck.
Yeah, see. 20-year radio veteran over here.
Oh, being asked on Christmas holidays.
Rolls his eyes as I say that.
Hey, could you go out? We're going to need you. We're doing a snow shoveling event as a station. We're going to be broadcasting from there.
Snow shoveling event.
It's like, and I'll do it, man. I'll show up with that stuff.
We need to do an extra hour.
Hey, I love it. And by the way, it's not like it's going to be, look, our show is cut short today. So stop acting like our world is, Hey, by the way, Alex, our producer, somebody asked it, said, does that mean Alex Napolis is not a real, is that a fake account too? Is he a fake person? No. He pushes real buttons.
Our producer is not AI.
No.
Right? Tell him, Napolis.
Look,
you're a real person.
Listen, we feed him personally. We bring him his water and his food.
Napolis does not have a handler.
And he does not have a handler, okay? And by the way,
He's
Napolis, you should follow Alex Napolis. You know why? Because you're going to get high school basketball games, high school football games. I don't think there's a person who's busting their tail as much as Alex Napolis in this
A
building.
lot less soccer these days.
Oh.
Who's to blame for that?
I was actually going to ask you that today because I saw this video of Lionel Messi because they're going to win the cup, right? The MLS Cup. The Miami is, right? So I was thinking about it. What are the odds he actually comes and we get to see him play here in Utah? Like, give me a number because I'm thinking about it. You know, I have an Argentine connection, but should I buy tickets to that game?
I think right now I'm 50-50.
You think so? And it can only get lower from here.
Can you imagine?
Of course I can imagine.
All the RSL fans that are in line to
but
get
I would
those
think
tickets.
but Lionel Messi,
for him to miss that game.
I know. And part of the thing is I think the MLS is like, look, this is huge. You've got to show up to these games. You've got to show up, you know? And they're paying him all this money. Apple's paying him all this money. And to his credit, I don't think he's done a lot of the, packing it up, Kawhi Leonard load management stuff. He's an older soccer guy. So anyway, tangent. Let's get going with the program here. Let's get in. We've got tons to talk about, including the Big 12 announcing all of their awards. We'll go through meticulously and give you the idea of what the locals have done on these lists because it's plenty of big names across the world of college football in this state that made themselves known on that Big 12 Conference Football Awards list for 2025. So let's get right into it here. Top of the program, it's The Cut.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Trajan Wealth brings you this portion of the program, TRAJANwealth.com. Trajan Wealth for all your trusted local needs in retirement. So the banner awards, the ones that have just the singular players that win different awards, peppered with BYU and Utah names. How about this? Offensive Player of the Year, BYU's junior running back, LJ Martin. Defensive Player of the Year, Jacob Rodriguez. Shock out of Texas Tech.
Exactly what I would have voted for and expected.
Offensive Newcomer of the Year, Devin Dampier, quarterback, Utah.
I like it.
Defensive Newcomer of the Year, David Bailey, defensive end, Texas Tech.
Easy choice.
Offensive Freshman of the Year, Bear Bachmeier, BYU. Defensive Freshman of the Year, Wendell Gregory, linebacker from Oklahoma State. That's a shock.
Didn't watch
because,
a single Oklahoma State game all year. Sorry, gotta be honest.
I think he got the award because he did. He's like, I was at every game.
I played all 12 games.
I showed up to every one of these dadgum games.
Just for that, we're going to give you an award.
You know what's going to happen from that? Some team's going to look at that and go, hey, call up Wendell Gregory. We need him on our team. There's no freaking way he's going to stay there in Stillwater if we offer him $700,000.
He's
Come
probably
on.
in the portal already.
Special Teams Player of the Year, Palmer Williams, punter out of Baylor. Congrats, son. Offensive Lineman of the Year, Spencer Fano, Utah. No shock there.
Easy choice.
Defensive Lineman of the Year, David Bailey, defensive end, Texas Tech. Scholar Athlete of the Year, sure. Sawyer Robertson, quarterback, Baylor.
What's his GPA?
I'm sure it's up there.
His 6 year, is he like taking 2 classes?
You know,
how many classes is he actually
basket weaving? He's JJ. You know how a lot of these
isn't he
high
like in his
performers
7th year
are.
of college?
No, 3.72.
Shouldn't Sawyer be a doctor yet already? Come on,
he has been around a long time, but
come on, Sawyer.
You know how it works with these guys. There are a bunch of dudes who are like, "Oh, I'm making the school pay for all of it. I got the MBA. I've got all the, you know what I mean? Like I would do that."
You got an A- in ceramics.
The Big 12 Coach of the Year award goes to BYU's Kalani Sitake from
Another
Provo.
easy choice, no doubt.
I don't know though. Why not Joey McGuire?
Because Texas Tech, with their payroll, was expected to do exactly what they did.
So you think the Bear Bachmeier challenge
Freshman quarterback,
at the beginning of everything?
Off season of uncertainty. We talked about it. I mean, Vegas thought they were 4.5 wins over under.
Yeah.
Who exceeded expectations more than BYU this year?
That's good. Maybe Houston. I think Willie Fritz could have gotten a big nod. He probably got a handful of votes because
BYU finished ahead.
Agreed.
Willie Fritz probably would have been my second choice, to be honest.
So when you look at this and you look and you say, okay, there's BYU, Utah, BYU, Utah, BYU. That's a lot of names for the 9 awards that are on here to have BYU and Utah on those lists, which is great for the local teams here. It shows you the type of programs that Utah, the type of rosters and programs that every year Utah's used to putting on, because this isn't a shock for anybody who knows what Kyle Whittingham can do. And for those who watch BYU go through the last 2 years, and for BYU to go 22-3 over the past 2 seasons in the Big 12, that's a massive deal for Kalani Sitake and his guys. To start their first year, by the way, to go 2-7 in conference play and 5-7 overall, to the last 2 seasons, impressive. And so put that in the on the long list of awards that Kalani Sitake has been deserving of, and one of the big reasons why he got not just extended, but extended with a lot of dough and his staff and all the NIL money that goes along with it. Is anyone
having a better week than Kalani Sitake?
No.
Wow.
So in the end, you've got all these awards that are given out, and it's great and it's awesome. But the reality is that I mean, just look at the impact that the teams locally here and the respect that the teams locally here get from the people across their conference that they share with all these other people. So let's go first and second teams here, because I do think that this is a big deal. So first team, all Big 12. I was actually shocked by the quarterback who was picked. Did you look at this? Did you see who it was? Noah Fifita, quarterback. First team all Big 12. I listen, speaking of coaches who could have also gotten Coach of the Year votes, Brent Brennan's that guy too. And what Arizona did was, under the radar, one of the best performances of the season. Being first team all Big 12 quarterback, the only one on this list, the first team quarterback is Noah Fifita. The guy, I think that's tremendous what he did. I was shocked that they did that, because I think there's a lot of deserving dudes out there. But why not Noah Fifita? I'm glad that he got the award. You know why? Because I don't think that Arizona got enough respect as it kind of came down to it. So from the local side of things, on the first team, all first team Big 12, LJ Martin, all first team Big 12, Bruce Mitchell, BYU center. How about going from Connor Pay to Bruce Mitchell, who's going to come back next year and likely be on the list of a lot of folks of potential NFL. South Summit High School's Bruce Mitchell is going to be on NFL watch lists and NFL draft boards, because he is just, since coming in and replacing an injured Connor Pay at Baylor last year, and everybody goes, "Oh no, you should watch the 63 guy. He's awesome." That's a great story there. Utah both getting Spencer Fano and Caleb Lomu on the first team. What's interesting about Spencer Fano is, obviously, he's going to be the first guy who goes as an offensive lineman in this draft. Caleb Lomu is a dang sophomore, you guys.
Redshirt sophomore, yes.
He's a sophomore. I don't know what his future is going to look like, but he's going to come back next year, right? I guess technically
he can go.
He's going to go to the league.
He's because he's a redshirt sophomore.
Right, so he's got the 3 years after.
He's not coming back.
So
he's going to be in the draft.
All right, so first team.
Utah fans just got like a skip in their step. Like,
sorry,
wait,
man.
what?
Sorry.
Huh?
Sorry.
Lomo's coming back?
First team defense, Utah, John Henry Daly. Love the nod. Glad that he got it. Super excited for him.
Gut-wrenched for him that he may not play.
Yeah, you wonder.
I hope he's a redshirt.
He's a redshirt sophomore. Even if he's not back next year, he'll get that medical redshirt, and
he'll have time.
He'll have
to
2 more years of eligibility.
Boy, just
can you get it back though?
Really hoping that John Henry Daly can be the same player he was this year, because he was elite.
Jack Kelly, first team All Big 12, BYU's linebacker, redshirt senior, and awesome nod to him. And then how about Tanner Wall getting first team honors?
Deserves it.
I think so too. I mean, awesome year at safety for BYU. He's one of the smartest dudes out there in the field. I bet they had to look at his GPA and probably compare it to Sawyer Robertson.
Got some consideration.
He's been getting all these all academic awards and stuff, and he's one of these guys that had like a Harvard, a Yale, a Stanford like offers coming out of high school. So those are your first teams from the locals. Second team for the locals, and tell me if anybody gets left off here that you feel like may have been shorted. Parker Kingston at wide receiver. For Utah, or for BYU, also on the second team, Will Farron and Parker Kingston as specialists as well. So Parker gets 2 nods: one as the second team wide receiver, and then as a returner as well. Will Farron at place kicker, good for him. Utah gets Logan Fano on the defensive line on the defensive second team, and Smith Snowden gets second team all second team honors as well on the defensive side of things. Now, third team, I forgot we did these, but Devin Dampier quarterback, Wayshawn Parker running back, awesome as well. Chase Roberts gets third team honors and a nod on that third team as the wideout for BYU, and then Isaiah Jota gets third team as well. And Dallin Bentley also.
How about Dallin Bentley?
Awesome.
He's had a great year.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's getting recognition.
So they get the nod there, and then finally on defense, Isaiah Glasgow, third team quarterback or third team linebacker. Falatau Satuala, third team as a defensive back, as a true sophomore. That's a great nod. That kind of shows probably what his trajectory is going to look like over the next couple of years too. So there you go. Lots of honors for all the locals, and then there's a dozen or so for both Utah and BYU on the honorable mention side of things. Any shocks in there? Any people left off? I thought Parker Kingston getting second team wide receiver honors.
Yeah, over
Chase,
over his teammate.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Chase obviously missed a little time here and there.
Yeah, but it also shows you whenever Parker Kingston would get the ball, there was an explosiveness. I think that's pretty hard to. There was an excitement that came with it.
Let me say something about Parker Kingston, because remember early in the year?
He was getting dogged, man.
He was not.
He was getting
playing
dogged.
as well as we thought. And we're like, what's up? We come to find out he had an injury in camp, or he didn't play in camp at all. And so it explained why he got off to a little bit of a sluggish start. But to be able to recover from that, where fans are wondering whether he should even be playing, to the point where he's now second team all conference, what a great year for Parker Kingston. The explosive plays that he had. They needed somebody other than Chase Roberts to take the pressure off and be able to make some big plays and some chunk plays. And it gave Bear Bachmeier an extra target to be able to do that. And I think that Parker took advantage of Chase getting so much attention. But you got to give him credit for making the plays that he did, and he was awesome. Obviously took a punt to the house the other day. I mean, just what a great I love the whole arc of his season. That's what sports is all about, is seeing players overcome adversity and fighting through things and becoming great. And now he can look back and say, I was great this year. I accomplished something, and I got recognition for it. And I'm second team all conference on a team that's ranked number 11 in the country and should be higher.
Yeah.
And has a chance to win a Big 12 championship. What a great year for Parker Kingston. To be able to overcome all that adversity and the negativity that was going on, I love it.
The Defensive Player of the Year award was Jacob Rodriguez out of Texas Tech. That was a unanimous choice, by the way. But on the actual picks of first team, the only unanimous pick across both first and second or first team all Big 12 was David Bailey out of Texas Tech. That's the only unanimous pick. So people are kind of spreading their votes in kind of a couple different areas. But I thought it was kind of interesting that, I mean, this is a deep league. This is a deep league when you only have one unanimous guy voted first team, because there is enough talent across a bunch of other teams where you can't vote for your own guys. You know what I mean? Like, the coaches aren't voting for their own guys, and so they're throwing those names out there, and there are people, they're spreading that love around. There's a reason that probably Jack Kelly gets first team honors, and Jake Golday out of Cincinnati gets first team honors, and Jacob Rodriguez gets first team honors. I thought it was an awesome thing. Think of where Jack Kelly was going from Weber State, where he had an awesome go, right, and a couple great seasons there for his head coach and now defensive coordinator Jay Hill, and then to be able to have this. He said it during this week too. He said, "I just wish I would have had all 4 years here." You know what I mean? And part of that is because you just have so much more access to stuff, right? You have the best of everything. And the development that he probably had over the last 2 seasons and the coaching that he got over the past 2 seasons, it was on a different level. And it was a guy who was ready to take all that. And I think he's the kind of guy that can go to the next level and be that same dude. And I hope he does. I hope he does.
And I get what he's saying, but without what he went through, having to fight for a scholarship, didn't get what he wanted out of high school at Kearns, working hard, developing himself, becoming that player at Weber State, taking advantage of all those reps and opportunities he got, because he wouldn't have got that at BYU early on.
Yep.
So that's all part of his story. And I think the hard thing for him is he wants to experience what he did this year for 4 years, and that's easy to understand and understand why an athlete would want to repeat such a great year or a great couple years over and over again. Just reminds all these players, you only have a short period of time to make your mark. And he, in his short period of time at BYU, in 2 seasons, made his. And what a success! The last 2 years, it's 2 of the most successful years back-to-back in BYU football history, and he was a key part of that.
Kalani getting the head coach of the year honors, how big of a deal is that? You know, obviously coaches don't look at that and then they go, look at my Big 12 Coach of the Year award up on the mantle up there. Maybe they do. I don't know, but like
I think it matters.
It's a great
recruiting.
100% does, and the fact that he's sticking around also means it makes that mean even more.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, being a coach of the year in a conference, in a big time conference, that's in your 3rd year in the conference. It says a ton about.
List off the names.
But the reason that he gets there is the reason that he also probably held out for a little bit to make sure that his assistants got paid, because he's the first guy that'll tell you, like, I trust Aaron Roderick. I trust Jay Hill. I trust my coaching staff. He hands those guys he learned. I'll tell you one thing that he did learn from LaVelle Edwards was the CEO position of football. And to look in there and say, I can't be in the ear of every one of these players. I can't be in the scheme of every one of these play calls that you have. I don't know it all. You guys are the ones who put those together. And then I'll make the decision on whether or not we're going to take a timeout right now or if we're going to go for it on 4th down here. But I'm trusting you guys around me. That's why he's paying him, because the Coach of the Year honors go to him. But the reason he's there is because of the people that he put together. And you think about where they were at a couple of years ago when everybody wanted to fire Aaron Roderick, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or, you know, at any given
there was a
moment
lot
of the year.
I mean, the staff was under fire. I mean, you go on. Take it for a grain of salt. You go on X and you're reading during games, and the Fire A-Rod had a hashtag.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And by the way, the offensive coordinator at any power
that's
going
to happen.
They'll get that.
No one understands that more than Aaron Roderick.
Right.
Trust me.
Whatever happens, when your team takes a loss during the year, there's going to be a hashtag fire somebody.
What happened to the hashtag Fire A-Rod in the last 2 years?
Oh yeah, it's been dwindling. You wouldn't find those. It's not going to be trending.
That crowd's been very silent.
Yeah.
Winning cures everything.
All right. Well, across the board, 40
awesome.
Nods, 40 recognitions across all the.
I can't throw out a
teams.
grievance. You went through the list. I can't throw out a grievance. Even some guys got recognition and honorable mention. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Good for them, yeah.
In Kalani winning the award, I wanted to mention. You look at all these great coaches in this league. There's some big names: Matt Campbell, Deion Sanders, Sonny Dykes, Joey McGuire, Scott Frost is back, Rich Rod, Kyle Whittingham, and the list goes on and on. Kenny Dillingham, Brent Brennan.
Yeah, there's some Hall of Fame dudes on those lists.
Willie Fritz was awesome this year, and Kalani won the award.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it is significant. It does matter. That's a great group of coaches, and this year he was the best.
All right, let's take our first break of the day. We've only got an hour left of programming here because starting at 4:30, you're going to get your Jazz pregame firing up here. The next couple of days, you have the Jazz taking a little swing into the Eastern Time Zone, and so we'll get you early to Jazz coverage at 4:30. But we've got a lot to jam in as well over the next hour, so stay right here with us. More to go. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
The exclusive home of the Utah Mammoth is on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Gunther explodes through the middle. Gunther right in. Gunther dangles and scores. Oh, solo mio. Dylan Gunther. 3-on-2 for Keller and Schmaltz. Schmaltz this way. Backdoor. Paterka scores. Tic-tac-toe. Keller, Schmaltz, Paterka, and it's 4-0. Out wide, he shoots it, tips in, and they score. Keller had the shot, and that makes it 7-0. The Mammoth continue to pound the Ducks.
You're locked into JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Did you see this week's winner of the Hercules Hero of the Week award? Just take a little peek before I read it. That's pretty fun, isn't it?
I love it. It's great.
It's great. Are you kidding me?
This is cool.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. If you're not familiar with the Hercules Hero of the Week award, first of all, the intro, awesome, nice job on Annapolis putting those all those highlights together. Because you're kind of sweating it out because there were a lot of them. We're not used to putting that many Mammoth highlights together in one night. How about 7-0 last night, JJ? I watched I would like to say the entire thing. It was such a late game. I'm trying to put kids to bed and blah, blah, blah.
It was on national TV. They picked a good time to break out.
But because of that also, they got pushed late because it was going to be a late game. It was going to be that 8:15 puck drop or something like that. It ended up being like almost 8:30 because the game prior to them went a little bit late. But it was a late start. And when it got to 2-0, my house was pretty like, hey, look at that. But my boys are funny because, I don't know, we do this as fans of anything, right? They're like, yeah, it's not going to last.
Yeah.
I'm going to say they're going to lose 4-2. That was what my oldest.
Those are young kids that have had their heart broken in a sports way.
Because they're gonna lose 4-2. I know they're up 2-0. They're going to lose 4-2. And I went, settle down now.
True fans.
Then it gets to, and then the next period it gets to 4-0. Then it got, and I would say that obviously 7-0 is a beatdown.
Oh man, are you kidding me?
But I think that when
that's like 63-0 in
yes,
football.
It is huge. But I'd say the biggest moment of, oh, wow, everything's going this team's way was when Spicy Tuna put his second goal into the year.
Yeah.
We're watching it, and it wasn't like I was telling Alex
He was the post-game interview on TNT.
I know. I was watching it. I was telling Naples, I go, dude, just go back and watch his goal because it's not like it was like, you watch Gunther, and he sneaks like on a breakaway one through the old 5-hole, just boom, Spicy Tuna's like a wraparound, like trying to just assist it in front of the net, and it just goes off of a skate and goes in. And he goes, yeah, baby. And I was like, and I don't want to take anything away from the guy because but I was thinking, how many times we had these conversations with Coach Bear or with anybody, like sometimes that puck, it bounces your way. You need a little bit of that. You don't get the 7-0 off.
It looked like he was curling, not playing hockey.
I know. But there's a moment where nights like that, not only did they need it, not only does that happen because, look, in Anaheim over the past 13 games was 9-2-3. They had scored 21 points in the last 12 games at home. And so at home is when they do best.
They're fourth in the West in points, and they lead the Pacific Division.
They have the best. They have the same number of wins as the New Jersey Devils, right? It's a good team. Yeah. They've been pretty darn good this year, and they beat this very team on that heartbreaker that got them to overtime. One of those 3-2 games that they lost in overtime. That stretch where they just kept losing 3-2, but to go 7-0 is a huge deal. And part of it was, okay, look, you're going to get a couple of new guys on the ice. So Daniil Boot gets out there, but I was really impressed by Maverick Lamoureux, who as well got his first point as a Utah Mammoth. Going out there and getting an assist, I think, on the second or third goal of the night. And he is solid on the ice. And those dudes are massive, by the way. They are both 6'6" without their skates on. And so they're massive bodies when they go out. And everybody who's watching this thing is going, and my kids were like, who's number 10? And I'm like, that's Maverick Lamoureux. Today's his first day on the job, you guys. Like, that was a really cool opportunity. But that attitude that it brings when you send guys down, when guys get demoted and other guys get promoted, there's a shakeup that happens in the locker room, and it was pretty visible last night too.
Yeah, it was great to see the youth out there, but just the energy and the aggressiveness and the focus that, to be quite honest, has not been there of late. They needed that. They needed it badly. This is what this team is capable of. Now, winning 7-0 every game, no, that's not what I'm saying. Playing with this kind of energy, with this kind of intensity, that should be a given every night, and it hasn't been there through this tough stretch. So we talked about it yesterday. This is a big game. We were worried, this is a game that's going to be tough to get, and this is a team that broke their heart a couple weeks ago. At the end of regulation, they thought they had a dub, and they ended up leaving with an overtime loss. To be able to get a little bit of revenge there and to prove yourself against one of the best teams in the Western Conference right now was a huge boost for this team, I think, moving forward. They've been through a lot. Clayton Keller has been through a lot, and all those teammates feel what he's going through because they love that guy, and they talked about it afterwards last night. They're still thinking about him. It's been a really tough stretch for this team. Hockey's a grueling, tough sport. You don't need to add anything more to it. and they've had a lot added to it. And hopefully they're on the other end of all this. Hopefully this game was a sign that they're on the other end of this, and they can finish this trip strong. They're going to head to Canada now to play Vancouver and Calgary. Those are 2 winnable games. Those are 2 teams that are towards the bottom in the West. Vancouver's got the 3rd worst record in the West. Calgary's got tied for the worst record with Nashville. So these are games that going on the road, this Utah Mammoth team can and should win. They've proven they can play well on the road.
You know what
this
that would
season.
do? You know what that would do to them, too? They would be 500 on this road trip.
Yes.
Which I was going back and forth with one of my buddies last night about this.
Any road trip, you go 3-3 or 2-2.
That's kind of the expectation. Like, if you're a decent team, it's like, hey, just split them on the road and then get home and then win 2 out of 3 at home, and then you're going to have yourself a playoff season. And while things got it, I wouldn't say that they've been derailed, because as of right now, they're still in the wild card spot, which is, I think, what people have them. It's kind of wild, right? And so it's an interesting time. It's been fascinating to watch the process, because it's different, right? It's just different for us. The NHL does it a little bit differently. I'm trying to think of like an equivalent. You know, if the Jazz were to send down a couple of like kind of semi-rising stars and then bring up a couple of other guys on 10-day contracts that you were like, ooh, I don't know if they were ready yet, but it was like, no, we're going to shake some things up here. Like, they do a lot of different things in a lot of different sports to get fire under the butts of the guys in that locker room. And the 23 people that are in that locker room for the Utah Mammoth, it got switched up. And I think that they got fired up. I think when we were talking to Cole Bagley the other day, we were talking about, what this – and then when Mike Folta brought it up yesterday too, he goes, the attitudes in that locker room was excitement. They were excited before that Anaheim game. We talked to Mike yesterday. I don't even think he thought to himself, hey, you know what? They seem fired up. Some changes happened, and they're embracing it, and they're going to kind of just go with it, and they want to get back on track. I don't think in a million years you'd think a 7-0 game would have been the way to right the ship on that thing. But, man, crazy. And is the ship righted? By no means. But you can still obviously build off of something like that and say, get that fire under your butt. You were the team who was the most. They obviously came out and they were the ones that were firing on all cylinders last night.
It's promising. It gives this team some momentum. It builds the confidence. And you look at the standings, and after as rough as that stretch was, how bad it was, you're right. They have 29 points right now, tied with San Jose. They're in the wild card spot. And if you can just move forward and start winning 2 out of every 3 games at this point, 3 out of every 5, you're going to be right there at the end of the season. And you look up, and there's not a huge gap. They're only 6 points behind Minnesota now in the division race. They're not going to catch Colorado. By the way, I'm looking at the standings. Did you know Colorado has 1 regulation loss all season long?
Yeah, all
they
their
are
losses
19-1-6.
Yeah, all their losses have been in overtime if they've taken them, and so that's a pretty good team.
They currently have 8 more points than the best record in the East.
And we talked about this before the show,
which
and
is
Appleton and I
Washington.
did too. They've actually had 2 fewer games than everyone in the league as well.
Right.
So they have all these points, and they're dominant. They're way ahead of everybody, and they still have played fewer games than everybody else has too. So there you go.
Not going to catch them, but my point is Utah's right in the mix despite all the adversity they've had. Well,
and you know what? Vegas being good and Colorado being good around you from a geographical standpoint.
Yeah.
That's good. I think that's good news. You know what I mean? And they split the first 2 between the Vegas Golden Knights and themselves. And, you're going to see Colorado, obviously, because they're in your division. But
you got to win over Colorado.
And you've already gotten a win. And I think that you can go in there and you can battle, and you could show some teams that you're ready to go. Anyway, great stuff last night. I think it got a lot of people back on track of thinking to themselves, all right, but you got to string it together more consistently. You can't have 4 losses in a row, win 1 big, and then go, we're back, everybody.
Yeah, can't do that.
So we'll see. You can nominate the esports volunteer for the Hercules Hero of the Week award. And every Thursday we read off a winner for you. Today is that day. We love being able to do this. Those nominations, we take them at kslsports.com/contest. And Hercules First Federal Credit Union and Beehive Meals chip in for prizes for the people who get nominated. And this week's winner is Andy Toulson. Yes, that Andy Toulson.
That's awesome.
I know. And my favorite
is
nominated by, and it just says his kids. So over the past 40-plus years, my dad has done everything and anything and everything that it's taken to provide for his family. He's put decades of grit, hustle, grind, and very hard work just to get by. When people would rather be lazy or count something out because it's obscure, my dad's been the opposite and has taken advantage of every opportunity to go well beyond the norm. He's a doer of pure, tough, gritty work. As his son, and he's one of the best people that I've ever known and the most consistent person I've known. Truly a great person to the core. My father played professional basketball for 14 years. When I heard about this ad, I wanted to submit an entry because he reffed football, basketball, and umpired baseball for more than 15 years in the state of Utah. Not only does he enjoy being around the game and getting exercise, but he consistently serves the Utah sports community by doing games, showing up, and being a good person to every coach, player, and fan. Even at the height of his success, he treated everyone with the same warmth and friendship as he does today. So Andy Toolson, the winner of this week's Hercules Hero of the Week award, he gets a prize from Hercules First Federal Credit Union and Beehive Meals. And, man, I love seeing that kind of stuff. And I love, too, that it's like, yeah, he's all these other things, but you know what he's done? He's been a youth volunteer for more than 15 years doing this for the state of Utah.
One of the best BYU basketball players of all time and a former Utah Jazz player. Mm-hmm. And after it was all said and done, he gave back.
Yep.
He gave back to our community, lives here, and gave back to youth sports. And it's people like Andy that we need to give back to and teach this new generation of players, whether it's coaching, whether it's reffing, whatever it is. What an incredible knowledge and experience he had that he lived through 14 years playing in the NBA and overseas. To give that back to our community is awesome. So, Andy, we appreciate you. Your kids are awesome, and you deserve some recognition. That's great.
Let's take a break here. We'll come back. If you want to nominate a youth sports volunteer in your neck of the woods, you can do it by nominating them at kslsports.com/contest. And then we honor those people every Thursday on this very program, thanks to Hercules First Federal Credit Unions and Beehive Meals. All right, we'll take that break. We'll come back. We have more to go right around the corner. A Would You Rather? Next, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Listen, everybody. Real-life hypotheticals to get your brain churning. As JJ and Alex ask, would you rather?
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Thanks for being with us on the program today. Just a reminder that we're going to be cut short a little bit today because of Jazz basketball coming up 4:30 pregame. We were just having this discussion about with the NFL that tonight's game between the Cowboys and the Lions. That's a giant game. It's an awesome game. First of all, for a Thursday,
it is a great game.
And I'm watching Jared Goff walk into the facility, and man, that guy's got a lot of pressure on right now because the Lions are 7-5, and falling to 7-6 and being a full 2.5 games, 3 games behind the Bears, not good.
Yeah.
And the Packers are going to be are better than you are right now, and you're kind of fighting for your playoff lives. And by the way, if you don't make it to the playoffs, that's a huge disappointment for this Detroit team. It's you're supposed to be in the conversation of the NFC Championship, maybe going to your first Super Bowl ever. All right? So we'll see how that one goes. By the way, did you see the NFL, since we're talking NFL stuff, NFL has mandated all stadiums, all NFL teams, to change their playing surface by 2028 to a new playing surface. Now, I'm not sure if they were saying that means that they have to have new turf or like a grass turf or whatever, because we've heard the argument of grass versus artificial. But I don't know what the requirement is going to be, but they were just requiring it. They're saying new playing surfaces for all stadiums to enhance player safety, okay? And they're going to have to install new playing surfaces to meet standards set through lab and field testing. A library of approved and accredited NFL fields. You'll have to get them approved from a library of accredited NFL fields. What does that mean?
Is there a library somewhere where you can go? What?
Worst library ever, by the way.
I'm not sure that's the kind of book I want to read.
So they've said that
how do you have a library of fields?
I know. Open the book up. It's like you show up. You know, you get like a color sample for like getting your house painted.
Right.
So what I really love what the Bears have done here, you have this sample over here, you have this one over here. Extensive testing and have been approved by a joint committee. That's what they're going to say. Fields, they basically are talking about a process that they haven't finished yet, which is Fields will have undergone extensive testing and will have to meet approval by a joint committee with the NFLPA. So they're not done with that full testing stuff yet. Whatever they're going to come up with, it's a sort of red, yellow, and green effect where obviously we're trying to phase out fields that have been determined to be in the red and yellow categories. We're hoping everybody is into the green in the coming years. The Joint Service Committee task force of the NFL. It's a real thing. So there you go.
Learned something today.
A strike test, or a test. Okay, listen to this. Fields have been tested in labs and on site using two main tools. One is called the Beast tool that has a traction test that replicates the movements of an NFL player, and the other is called the Strike Impact Tester that helps determine firmness on each field. This is what we're talking about. I hope they take it seriously, though. I mean, you think about the ACLs. What you're not going to fix is the Achilles stuff, which is, I think, it's going to replace the ACL as the new. It's already something that we see more than we've ever seen, right?
Yeah.
We've never seen it. So it doesn't really matter what the surface is going to be. Those Achilles are going to be a problem. But if you can limit the knee injuries and the non-contact injuries with field stuff, then I hope we can do it. So, yeah, grass, synthetic, or a hybrid. They haven't determined exactly what the best is going to be, and you can have some version of both, but you have to have it approved, and it has to pass all those different rigorous testings. So
my strong opinion is all NFL stadiums should have grass because they can afford it.
Most, and think about it too. At Allegiant Stadium, for example, they'll do nothing except have the NFL team, the Raiders themselves, play on grass, and then they go, the heck with all the rest of you. We got field turf for you guys, but we're playing on grass.
And they have a whole system that they use. It's kind of the tray thing where they let they do the same thing in Glendale.
They do the same thing down with the Cardinals. And I've watched that whole process of them bringing it in and out and taking care of it. And it does a better job. Did you ever prefer playing on grass versus turf when you were in high school?
I am so old, I never played on turf in my life.
See, and I was kind of I was accelerated onto the turf because in Washington you just can't have grass fields the way
muddy.
They did. Too much rain.
Really?
And so my senior season, I played one surface that was grass, and we got our butts handed to us because we were not ready to be on grass, and it was so muddy. It was a November game, and we just got absolutely killed by this team. And I remember thinking to myself, "This is cool though. Look how muddy we are at the end of this game." But it was the old school turf that was terrible. It was that scratchy.
Yeah.
It wasn't the worst version, like the original AstroTurf that was just straight up, it was like glued carpet onto full-on cement. But it was whatever the next generation was of that. It was a little bit more squishy, and it was awful. I definitely had turf toe for sure. So
I think we're at a point right now where I think half the league is on grass and half. There's 30 fields, by the way, 32 teams, but only 30 fields. Mm-hmm. 15 use turf and 15 use grass.
Yeah, I think the grass generally the players like it more, and they do such a good.
Oh, for sure.
Ask the soccer teams
you can't play.
You can make perfect pitch. You can make perfect pitch.
Yeah.
And if you're the NFL, you should only settle for the best too, because you look at those the soccer pitches across the world in the top soccer leagues look better than any football field we've ever seen.
No question.
And so I know it's hard to keep those things up, but
you're a professional. You're the richest league in the world.
Literally, bring groundskeeper Willie over from Scotland. Let's get this thing done. Yeah.
I understand that, but if you're the NFL, you have the technology. We've seen these teams do it.
Yeah.
Everybody should be on grass. That's my opinion.
Okay. Glad we got that out there.
There you go.
All right, we'll take a break.
Was that the would you rather, turf or grass?
Turf or grass, yeah.
Grass all day.
Achilles tear or ACL tear? Full ACL, LCL, PCL, MCLs.
Jeez.
Okay, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We have more to go. Let's talk about this Texas Tech versus BYU championship game coming up this weekend. We'll jump into, of course, how Bear Bachmeier can right the ship from his first performance down in Lubbock earlier in the season for BYU's lone loss of the year. We'll come back. More to go right around the corner, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Let's go!
Complete game coverage of the Cougars is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. It's a Big 12 title game showdown for Kalani Sitake and the Cougars as they square off against Texas Tech for a spot in the college football playoff. Exclusive Big 12 title game coverage on the Zone is presented by JCW's, the Burger Boys, quality and a lot of it. You're locked on to JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
ADHD, it's a wonderful thing. I mean, man, you can get a lot of stuff done or nothing done all at once. It's great.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it's a curse and a blessing in my life, all right? So there you go. Napolis, you were saying something? It's also a great excuse for when people go, did you listen to any of that? And I go, yeah. You know I have problems listening, don't you? See, this is something my teachers always talked about, too. They're all, hey, man, what's going on in your head right now? A lot, but not a lot. It's hard to explain. All right? What was the Homer Simpson? They, took a picture into his brain. And there's that monkey on the bike. That's a little bit me.
Smashing the cymbals.
Hitting the cymbals together. Yeah, that's me. Why not? All right, listen. We got lots going on in the program today. First of all, shortened show, so this final segment of the day is going to take you all the way down to Jazz pregame. And we'll get into that a little bit at the end of the segment as well. We'll have the final availability report for everybody on the team as well tonight. But, yeah, it's an interesting time for the Jazz because it's like you're in a weird moment where people are like, anyway, gosh, you guys are doing pretty good. Like, stop it or keep going. I don't know what to say. I mean, here's the good news. Or bad news, depending on how you look at it. The Jazz could easily come out of tonight 8-13 on the year because they're playing the dadgum Nets, who are actually doing a better job of losing games than they are. So
yeah, they're really good at tanking.
We'll talk about that in a few minutes as the Jazz are on the road taking on the Brooklyn Nets this evening. So we'll see how that one goes. In the meantime, let's kick off the hour here as we always do. Kick it off at the cut, get jumping in right here, and we got lots to get to.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Doug Smith brings you this portion of the program. An incredible selection of Kia, Subaru, Chevy, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram, and now Mitsubishi in the Doug Smith locations in American Fork, Spanish Fork, and in Linden. Nobody knows cars like Doug. And any of our discussion of the Texas Tech BYU matchup, of course, in the Big 12 Championship game is brought to you by JCW's, the Burger Boys, quality and a lot of it. And that happens to be exactly what you're getting with these two teams, JJ, is quality, a lot of it on both sides of the football. And both teams honored in the Big 12 awards today. And Joey McGuire could have easily been the coach of the year in the conference. Kalani Sitake ended up winning it. Bear Bachmeier is the freshman the freshman offensive player of the year. And with good reason, he won the Freshman of the Week honors 7 of the 13 weeks that they gave that award out. That's pretty darn good. And this is two teams who – Texas Tech, by the way, if you look at that defense, the Texas Tech is across the first and second team of the Big 12 more than any other team. And for good reason. There's a reason that they're in first place. There's a reason that they have won all these games and that they had a bad loss on the year against Arizona State. I say a bad loss because – they didn't have their starting quarterback. Their backup quarterback was even a little bit banged up that game. They definitely were not themselves, and ASU got them at their place in Tempe. And so Texas Tech is a tough out, and it's never going to be an easy game for these two when these two teams match up. I just have a hard time. I know that these guys are paid a lot of money, and even more money now so. But how do you solve this Texas Tech issue when they didn't just they're not just better numbers-wise on the offensive and defensive side of the football. They also have this psychological advantage over you, which was this, hey, there was nothing you could do against us. We had kind of a bad offensive day, and we still beat you by 22 points. Out of the times we went to the red zone, they had 5 field goals. They had 5 field goals on the day, JJ.
Yeah.
And because, you convert half of those to touchdowns, we're talking about a game in the 40s to the single digits for BYU, or against BYU. So this is a really, really good team. I don't know how you overcome the mental side of trying to get past the fact that those guys beat you up the first time around that you played them?
I think that the BYU players felt like that was their worst performance of the year. And you could tell after the game, because I remember Chase Roberts and said it with a lot of conviction that he wanted to play him again. And next time he's going to beat him. I'm paraphrasing. I don't have the exact quote. We might have it in the system somewhere. But Chase Roberts wanted this moment, and he's ready for it. This team's going to be ready for it. They've had time to prepare for this. I think everybody knew that this is probably where it was tracking. And you've already played them once, so you've already done a lot of that work of preparation because you've seen them before. I guess the question that everyone's asking is, why is this going to be different this time around? And it may not be, because Texas Tech's that good. And like you said, Texas Tech left a lot of points on the field that day. A lot of field goals, 29 points. That's a weird final score, right? 29-7, because they kicked a lot of field goals.
15 of those points were just field goals. Yeah.
Right. They only scored 2 touchdowns. On the flip side of that, Texas Tech only scored 2 touchdowns against BYU.
I can see that, yeah.
So, number one, BYU's defense has to play their best game of the year. Now, they played pretty good at Texas Tech, and 29 points should be enough for you to win a game if your defense holds them to that, especially on the road. I think they have to. Can BYU's defense be a little bit better than that? I think so, because a lot of those points were scored on short fields. And BYU gave Texas Tech a lot of possessions, more so than they'd normally get, because BYU didn't take very good care of the football at times and didn't move the ball on offense. Short possessions, 3 and outs. BYU needs to sustain drives. They've got to have the ball for 6 minutes at a chunk and keep that Texas Tech offense off the field, and that's how you reduce the amount of points that they score. Obviously, that goes without saying. The turnover battle goes without saying. It's how they execute this is going to be the question. And I think they learned a lot from that game. And Hans has talked about it when we did the roundtable on Tuesday. He talked about this, is they were max protect for Bear Bachmeier. You can't go max protect against Texas Tech. You got to play straight up one-on-one on the offensive line and live with the results. You've got to turn Bear Bachmeier loose. The one team that has had success against Texas Tech this year was when Sam Leavitt was healthy enough for Arizona State. He threw for over 300 yards. Bears got to throw for over 300 yards. He only threw for 188 in the first meeting. 23 of 38, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Those numbers won't do it against Texas Tech. It's got to be closer to 300.
Well, and I think it's important to point out, too, that it's about the circumstances with those passes happening. Like BYU at some point and Bear Bachmeier at some point, trying to throw your way back into a game is always a tough spot to be in. It's about the getting out. I think getting ahead of it and throwing the football early.
Right.
That's kind of where most people are going with this when they start talking about how do you break this game down and how you get used to this thing, or how you turn this a bit of a different direction of what you saw the first time around with these two teams. And it's an interesting way to kind of go at it. Kalani Sitake, during their media availability that wasn't talking about his new contract extension, talked about Texas Tech as a team and what he saw from them the first go-around and what he saw from them all this season.
I'm really impressed with their team. Just not just the way that they play the game. Obviously, we went out there and played in the game in Lubbock. Great atmosphere, great environment. Not too friendly for us, but it was a really cool experience. And we did not show up at our best. A lot of that had to do with Texas Tech. Texas Tech's a complete team with a great coach, great coaching staff, and all 3 phases they played amazing football. I think they're the best team in the country.
They're pretty good. I don't know about best team in the country, but I mean, why not?
Well, they might be.
This is why
they're going to get a chance to prove it.
If you're top 4 and you're in that conversation, you could definitely be.
Why not?
Yeah,
this is not a year where there's this juggernaut number 1.
Yeah, and in a year where they're crowning the SEC with all this love before a lot of stuff has happened, calling Texas Tech the best team in the country is not a crazy thought compared to with the stuff that we get from some of these other
I'd
pundits.
I'd put money on Tech to beat Georgia or Alabama. I'd do that. No problem, no hesitation.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I guess JJ's got a bookie. I'd put money on those games. He's all. Anybody interested? You know where to find me.
It's a stone cold lock.
Here's Kalani talking about BYU and Texas Tech and how they came to play one another this second time around.
In fact, after the game, if you want to talk about manifesting, go back to our dinner. When Joey and I had dinner, we talked about this. Joey, you remember that we talked about playing each other in the championship game. We manifested it, and now here we are. It's amazing that I get to do it against a great person and a great friend. After the game, we're shaking hands. Half of the players were saying, we'll see you guys in a few weeks. They basically respected us enough to know that we're going to get back at this game.
How many dates do you think they've been on? When did they first kiss, do you think? What date was that on? Jeez. The love between these two guys.
Do the Sitakes and Maguire spend each weekend together?
It makes it sound like it, right? You know why this is true love with these two guys? Because that's an Adidas school, and Kalani's a Nike guy. Normally he's like, I get to interact with those coaches quite often, and we're friends. And you're like, yeah, right, you're at the Nike meetings. Maguire's not at the Nike meetings, all right? They're FaceTiming each other from the golf course. You know what I mean? It's good stuff. I do think there's a ton of respect between these two programs because there's the idea of, hey, we can do something special with this conference, but you can't be mamby-pamby about it. You can't not win games. ASU was a great story last year. It ended after one game.
Yeah.
And even though that game was kind of close, it was kind of fun in the second half.
Yeah, they were a disaster in the first half.
I'm telling you. Well, and you see how the game ended. Remember how it ended too.
Yeah, that was
an
horrible.
awful play call to end things. And you went,
Dillingham owned it. He knows.
They were on look. This other team was ready, and we were not. That was essentially what it was. And I think that the Big 12 has a moment here, and if somehow by a miracle they're able to get two teams into the college football playoff, and they could get one or two wins. Like, that would be a different level that the Big 12 has ever been on.
Do you know who's cheering for the Cougars on Saturday? Brett Yormark.
I thought you were going to say the Utah Utes.
No. They will not be.
No, but Brett Yormark, I don't think he's done a good enough job of pimping the
He finally woke up.
Yeah, it's late, though. He should have been talking like this.
Out of the gate, he should have been talking.
But see, for a guy who, and maybe it's because
it's your conference. It's your
job.
job.
But every time he makes a statement, and you guys have heard it too, he sounds like he's reading it because he's reading it.
It sounds like a canned TED Talk type thing.
And the thing is that he actually has.
He has to have lasers every time he talks.
I know, and he's got to be like, this day and age, the Big 12 has performed with strong. This is a strong conference. Like it's all like it just sounds like a bad propaganda speech.
It feels like he's reading off a teleprompter.
And he is. He really is. And so I think that he needs to be a little bit more aggressive. Now, over the past week and a half, Brian Santiago now getting in front of everybody and saying all that they can about where this team should and shouldn't be, and where the Big 12 should and should not be, and how the College Football Playoff Committee has continued to disrespect teams like BYU and even Texas Tech, frankly, where they're like, well, if Texas Tech loses, I mean, they're out too. It's like, why? Here's what Brian Santiago, the athletic director for BYU, said on DJ and PK's program today about this very subject.
Yeah, it's super disappointing. It's actually disheartening, and it's disrespectful to our program. It's disrespectful to the Big 12. The fact that we're 11-1, our strength of record, our only loss is to a top 4 team, is just the fact that we're being disrespected the way we are is not right. The one thing that I will say is Brett Yormark's all the way in for championing this conference. And in the right circles, this dude is busting down doors. Everybody in the country knows this is a bias. You cannot explain it any way else. What Kalani and this team's done, 11-1, the teams that we've beaten in the top 25, the teams we've beaten on the road, our only loss to a team that's the top 4 right now. And when we played them, probably 3 or 4 of our best players are barely on the field. LJ Martin probably shouldn't have even played in the game. The thing that I'm excited about, though, guys, unbelievable opportunity Saturday. We control our own destiny. Our guys are healthy. Our team's ready to go. And we get another shot to go play Texas Tech on a neutral field for the championship. And I know our guys will be ready. But you can't explain it any way else. You guys have heard, and you guys are in the middle of it. You understand that you put blind resumes up there. There's no other explanation other than bias.
Here's the thing,
He's right.
Here's what actually would happen if a straightforward conversation and a truthful conversation and a truthful breakdown of where BYU should be in that college football playoff ranking were to happen. What I hate about this is you've weaponized teams like Texas and Miami who have no business having a conversation about whether or not they should be in this thing, but because no one's talking about BYU, then these guys sneak in the back door and go, "Hey man, I told you we played Ohio State." I think that speaks for itself. And you're like, that does not speak for itself. And so I think part of the issue, and we were listening to this before the show too. Well, I was listening to Mario Cristobal, the head coach of Miami, and he goes, "Look, what this really comes down to is us and Notre Dame." And they had up on the screen the rankings, and it was Miami 13 or Miami 12, BYU 11, Notre Dame 10. And he's like, this comes down to this comes down to us and Notre Dame. And obviously we won the head-to-head matchup, and everyone's like, you're ignoring this team that is right in front of you that has to play in a conference championship game. You get to sit back and do nothing this week as you watch Duke maybe win an ACC title that you were not able to qualify your team for.
Please make that happen.
Just to make it more embarrassing.
Yes.
So I think it weaponizes teams when you don't respect the process. I think it also gives the opportunity for other teams who have no business fighting for themselves because they have no problem being vocal about it. And you have these like sheepish like guys in the Big 12 who thought that the play on the field was going to do the talking, and it's unfortunate that it has to be a little bit more. All right, Jazz and Nets tonight. How does this thing get worked out, JJ? How do the Jazz win this basketball game tonight?
It's not that hard. This is the Nets. I think that they have a good shot, actually. I think the Jazz actually have a better roster. I think the Jazz, even with the injury report we have right here right now, I think they've got a great shot to win. It would not surprise me at all if they win tonight. I don't think they're going to win tomorrow against the Knicks. But for now, I think the Jazz get a win tonight in Brooklyn.
Get a win in Brooklyn. They got to play again tomorrow night at Madison Square Garden. Take
Jazz
on the
looked
Knicks
good
there.
against the Rockets the other night.
They looked really good. That second game was crazy that they took on themselves this idea.
One of the best teams in the league. They
look
beat
like and to bounce back and say, hey, you know what? We look like crap. And to Keontae George's point, like he brought it right out and he said we knew we had to be something different that second game, and they were. And I've been as impressed with that bounce back as anything else. All right, we'll take a break here. Jazz versus Nets coming up next. Visit Kenny J's Barbecue in the District in South Jordan. Mouth-watering ribs, savory brisket, and all your barbecue favorites. It's
Yum.
Kenny J's. KennyJ'sBBQ.com. We'll walk out here, get you ready for Jazz basketball right now. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.